Yeah.
Yep. All right, how's it going, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Nick Marro, DFS here with Smitty and Occupy Fantasy. As always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. We got a big one tonight. 9 games to get through. We're gonna have to go quick. Appreciate you guys being here early. Gonna shout you out. Not gonna pull all the names up again. We gotta cut some corners here for time. A lot of games to get through. We got Ben, Heath, Cards, Luke. Appreciate you all being here. Luke saying surprised we don't have more Knicks out on the back to back. We did just get Brunson downgraded, which is probably a guy we're going to see ruled out. But Smitty, what are your initial takes coming into this one? Looks like we're going to have a lot of plays to choose from.
Yeah, lots of good plays. Lack of value. Brunson out would definitely help. So I think it's pretty good overall.
Yeah, I tend to agree, man. I do like these bigger slates, especially when we're lacking value, because you get away from the chalk, try to go a bit more balanced than maybe the field is. But let's get into the game by game here. First game on the slates, we have the Chicago Bulls taking on the Indiana Pacers, 235.5 point total. Bulls slight favorites on the road here. Zach Collins is out. He's going to be out for a little while. No Trey Jones. They did recently get Josh Giddey back. His minutes have been limited. We have him at 29 here tonight. So still tough to get to him. In general, pretty good matchup, pretty high total. I don't mind getting to the Bulls. Jalen Smith has kind of been my guy this season. He did play 37 minutes, wasn't very efficient when he was out there, but slashers, big guys who can cut to the rim have been kind of a thing against the Pacers this year. He does fit that mold. He's probably my favorite play here. Pretty low owned on DK. Don't mind paying the premium as he's power forward eligible. You can make a case for guys like White, Buzelis, Vooch. I don't know that I'm going to be making it though, Smitty. How do you feel about the Bulls here?
Yeah, don't necessarily love any of them. I think Jalen Smith's fine as long as he's starting. And then Vooch, I think, is okay. But that's pretty much it. I don't really want anybody else here. I've been kind of on Kobe White, but front end of a back to back, kind of worry about the minute ceiling.
Yeah, same way I feel about Giddy. Like one of these days, the cap's going to get lifted on Giddy. I don't know that front end of a back to back is the day we're going to see it though. If we got word that maybe he'd be out tomorrow, maybe I'd get more Giddy tonight. But for now, not much here except maybe the bigs. For the Pacers, we got Tyrese Halliburton still out. Obviously, Talon Peters going to be out. Jarcy Walker has been playing excellent, is available. He was on the injury report with a foot bruise. Seems like he should be good to go. Yeah, man, I think he might be my favorite play here if he's going to continue to start. Obviously, Rick Carlisle is one of these coaches that can shake things up, but we've got 3 games in a row now of Walker starting, playing 29 plus minutes, getting over 30 fantasy points at his price, and having both forward eligibilities on DK. That is extremely useful. Over on FanDuel, you can play him at power forward. Wouldn't want to use the center spot up for him. Siakam's fine here. Could make a case for him. Naismith looks good in the model, but again, whenever a guy's kind of dependent on threes falling, I don't want to pay a premium for him. The price did come down a bit. I don't hate it. At the same time, I'd much rather just play Walker, I think. Which of these Pacers are you interested in?
Yeah, I think Walker looks pretty good as like a mid-range value. And then Siakam's my favorite here, preferably on FanDuel. DraftKings, I think he's okay at his price, but his FanDuel price is pretty appealing in a fairly weak position. So I do like Siakam quite a bit on FanDuel.
Yep, I'm with you. One thing worth noting too is Mathurin did come back last game. He played 24 minutes off the bench. I imagine we're going to see a similar run for him here off the bench. Just keep that in mind. If he were to slide back into the starting lineup, it is going to cut into the usage of guys like Nemhard and Siakam. But for now, Siakam does look good at his price. Again, I do like Walker a lot here, assuming he's going to continue to start. For the sake of pacing, let's knock out another game here. We got the Lakers taking on the Cavs, 235.5 point total. Cavs are favored here at home. LeBron taking on his former team. Only Austin Reeves on the injury report here. Luca starting to look like Luca again. I believe he's one of the top OFNX plays on the day. Very low owned. I will say, you mentioned it. We're lacking value. If we get some things to open up, getting to Luca at low ownership on a slate like this does make some sense. Obviously, Cleveland plays pretty good defense, but they're missing a lot of their key pieces here tonight. And again, one of the higher totals on the slate. I like Luca if I can get there. If I can't, I'm fine playing LeBron whenever he goes back to Cleveland. There's obviously a bit of a narrative. Those are the only two I really have any interest in. The model likes Laravia, I think is like a last piece. Shouts out to Eric Shoulder Shrug play. You could maybe get to him, but really it's just the big two here, Luca and James. I definitely prefer Luca of the two. How about you? How you feel about the Lakers here on the road?
Yep, it's basically just them two for me, Luca or LeBron. I'm getting to a little bit more LeBron right now just because of positionality, and he's more affordable. So prefer LeBron, but I like both of them.
Yep. Yeah, positionality, LeBron definitely easier to get to. And again, if we don't get more value, he's much, much easier to get to. But maybe we find some value on the other side here. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers. No Darius Garland. Hunter and Merrill are probable. Merrill's been out for a little while, so that's notable. But no Evan Mobley tonight. That's going to be significant. No Max Struess or Luke Travers either. Luke Travers, I don't know why I even mentioned him. But Jared Allen getting a lot of love on both sides. Obviously, with no Mobley, he's going to see increased rebounding upside. At the same time, historically, his usage hasn't gone up in a massive way with these guys off the floor. So while I do like him at his price, I don't think he's a must play. My favorite play here again is going to be Jalen Tyson. Continues to produce at a super high level, even with Mobley in the lineup. With Mobley out, I do imagine we see him benefiting as much as anyone. Donovan Mitchell, one of the better pay-ups on this slate. Lakers haven't been playing much defense. He has a very high ceiling here, obviously, with two high usage players in Garland and Mobley off the floor. Model loves Dean Wade. It's funny. Now that Mobley's out, Wade is no longer the top value play. Like, I don't know what the hell went on there, but fine getting to him a little bit. If Craig Porter starts, and only if he starts, I don't mind getting to him, but he's been kind of disappointing, even with increased minutes. Naquan Tomlin is another guy who probably gets a few more minutes here. I don't think we're going to see him starting. He's kind of more popular than I want him to be, though. But again, we're lacking value. I don't mind mixing him in. But more than anything, I like Tyson. I really do like Donovan Mitchell. Those are the two I find myself getting to the most, Smitty. How do you feel about the Cavs?
Yeah, Cavs are in a pretty good spot. I like Jared Allen. No Mobley just helps in terms of minutes going against a good matchup. So I do like Jared Allen, especially on FanDuel where you get him power forward eligible. Tyson looks good to me on FanDuel. Don't mind him on DraftKings either. No Mobley should help him. We haven't really seen it enough to really know, but would think it does. Donovan Mitchell, I think, looks like one of the better spin ups, and he's shooting guard, which is pretty helpful. Lots of good point guards on this slate, so the fact you could play him at shooting guard is pretty big. And then like the value pieces, I don't know. I think they're all okay. Would prefer waiting for Knicks value, but I think you could play like Tomlin, uh, Dean Wade, but that's pretty much it. Merrill, to me, I kind of want to see it before I get in there, especially with him drawing a little bit of ownership.
Yeah, if Merrill were to start, maybe they'd put Mitchell at the one, but he's coming off an injury, so I think it's more likely we're going to see maybe Craig Porter start here. But yeah, I do like that you're heavy on Allen. I do kind of want to backtrack my thoughts on that. I didn't realize he had forward eligibility over on FanDuel. That definitely makes it more appealing there. And you could play two centers on DK, so it's probably just chalk you want to eat in a really good matchup. So again, like Allen, like Tyson, like Mitchell, keep an eye on the starting lineup though. Definitely some moving parts there. Quick look at the chat here. We did get a question. Is Giddy still on the bench? I do believe he's going to continue to come off the bench. I've heard nothing official, Smitty, of you.
No, nothing official. If he plans to play both halves, so the back to back, I would think they'd keep him off the bench, but we'll see.
Yep. Jose hoping Kolek starts in place of Brunson. I don't think he would, but obviously if he does, he's a smash. Luka too expensive. He's up to Jokic pricing now. Has to put up 80 to pay it off. I mean, you're kind of right, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. He played against the Bulls last time out, had 77. Denver a couple games ago had 77. He is back in that range in terms of his upside. Um, but yeah, if we don't get more value, it's very tough to get to him, which explains why he's very low owned. So again, not that he's a popular play, not that he's a smash. I do like that upside in tournaments at low ownership, though. Obviously, moving into the 7:30 window now. First, we're going to talk about the Hawks taking on the Celtics in Boston, Atlanta. Slight underdogs here, 232.5 point total. No Porzingis, no Ricochet, nothing else really worth talking about. I don't know. Atlanta's been good. Not a good matchup for them, though, right? I mean, Jalen Johnson kind of starting to produce at a high level again, but this is not really the matchup I'm rushing to get to him in. No Kada tonight. I don't know that that hurts their defense in a huge way. He's going to see a lot of double teams. Alexander Walker, Daniels, McCollum, you can make a case for any of them in terms of mixing them in, even a Kongwu. But again, I think they're low on for a reason. Even with Porzingis out, these guys are priced about where they should be now on both sides. He's been out for weeks, it feels like. So, yeah, don't love the matchup. The total's okay. I mean, any of the starters are fine. McCollum off the bench, you can make a case as like a last piece in. But Smitty, any Hawks you're prioritizing here against Boston?
No, I think it's pretty hard to get here. Just not really a game that I'm getting super into. I do like Okongwu a little bit if I had to pick one. Just no Kata kind of changes this Boston defense a little bit, rim defense at least. So I do like Okongwu, but that's pretty much it.
Nice. All right. Yeah, over on Boston, you mentioned it. No Kata. Obviously, no Jason Tatum. Luca Garza, I believe, is going to be available here. But Amari Williams looks to be the starter here at center. So kind of tricky, right? He got to start a couple games ago, did nothing against the Bulls, only played 10 minutes. But when Cato went down, played 25 minutes against Portland, got to 24 fantasy points. If he can do that again at his price, he is very appealing. No one seems to want to roster him. He does rate as the best DK value player on the board. So in tournaments, I don't mind it. I have trouble projecting him for more than the minutes we have him at 23, but there is a ceiling there. So just keep that in mind. Luca Garza could see more minutes off the bench here. He is dealing with an illness. But at the same time, I don't feel great about it, especially on a slate this size. I mean, we have plenty of options here. And as is always the case with Boston, we got Brown, we got White, we got Pritchard in that order. You're going to pay a premium for Brown. He's the most appealing, followed by White, then Pritchard. They're all fine. It is a good matchup. Simons off the bench has shown some upside lately. Don't mind mixing him in here. Hauser always comes in low now that his price is up, and he could get hot from three. But yeah, I don't mind the starters. Really curious how you feel about Williams, man, and just let us know about how you feel about these Celtics in general. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Williams is more of just a GPP play. Just I don't know. It's hard to trust him, so I kind of think it's like Garza Williams. They could even run some small ball five, so it could get kind of ugly. Like it's not a safe play, but it's a play I'd be willing to make if I was playing a decent amount of lineups. But other than that, it's mainly Jalen Brown for me. I do like Jalen Brown. Like I mentioned, forward is okay, but if you pay up, you're pretty much different because everyone's paying up for guard. So I do think he's a pretty good GPP play. And then Derek White, the shooting guard eligibility is pretty massive for him, so I don't mind Derek White. Honestly, probably gonna just stay away from Pritchard, but yeah, I think Brown, White, and then Amari Williams, Luca Garza, you could play either one of them. And then Hauser, we talked about it last time. He can get hot and got a pretty good total, so I don't mind mixing in a little bit of Hauser.
Yeah, if someone in chat wants to look into this, obviously we're going game by game really quick here today. Last time Brown played the Hawks was in Atlanta, 29 minutes, 56 fantasy points, had a 50% usage rate that game. I'm guessing one of White or Pritchard were out, and also he's from the Atlanta area, so he probably wanted to show off there on the road. But that is notable. He absolutely crushed in this matchup last time out. So getting to Jalen Brown probably a good thing, regardless of who was in that last time these teams squared off. Next game here at 7:30, we got the Knicks taking on the Toronto Raptors. We just mentioned Jalen Brunson going to be questionable. He was downgraded late in the day, which usually means he's out. Josh Hart questionable here as well. It is a back-to-back. Knicks have been resting guys on back-to-backs. No Mitchell Robinson. Miles McBride is out. So let me take back what I said there, Jose. I thought McBride would get the start for Brunson, but Kolek might become a thing really quick here. So we definitely have to keep an eye on that. I don't know, man. I think we're going to get both Hart and Brunson out, especially Brunson with the late day downgrade. It is a back to back. Towns is going to look really good here. It's not the best matchup. At the same time, the increased usage for him at his price is very, very appealing. Kolek, if he starts, is the best value play on the entire slate. I'll say that with conviction. And you can mix in the others, OG, Bridges, but really need this news before we can take a major stand here. But how do you feel about the Knicks?
Yeah, tough without the news. As of right now, I'm building for at least Brunson out. I still have Hart in there, just because I don't know. I don't know about Hart, but if Hart's out, then it's like it's a smash spot. So, really interested if Brunson's out and Kolek, he'll be the chalk value of the slate. I do think you kind of have an edge just kind of waiting for that. Even if you don't, you have plenty of games to choose from, but you don't really want to lock up, especially if you're only playing a couple lineups. You don't really want to lock up the early games and miss getting Kolek. So I think building with him in is probably the optimal way to go for me. So I'm going with Kolek, and then I kind of have everyone bumped. I think they all look pretty good. And then if you get Josh Hart out, then Ananobi, Bridges, they're all going to look better. Towns should draw more usage if Brunson's out, and plus you have no Mitch Rob, so you can feel a little better there. But yeah, I think the Knicks are probably a team that we're going to be prioritizing.
Yep, right there with you, man. And I will say this: there is a pivot coming up in that Miami game. We have Drew Smith, who's very popular. If you just build with Smith, you could go down to Kolek once Brunson's out. If you're only playing a lineup or two and want to play it safe. Over on the Toronto side of things, pulling up their injury report, no AJ Lawson. Murray Boyles is questionable. Still no Jakob Podol. This team's relatively healthy right now. They've been playing a little bit better lately. Quickly, Barrett, Ingram, Barnes, they're all fine. Kind of feel similar to them as I do about the Boston guys, maybe a little bit worse. Obviously, we really like Jalen Brown, but you can make a case for any. Sandro's been starting. If Murray Boyles is out, that's going to secure his minutes. Obviously, no Podol. But I can't really say there's a priority here. Again, Barnes probably the most appealing, but he is expensive. Any Raptors that you're really keying in on?
Not really. I think they're all kind of okay. Quickly, it's probably my favorite of the higher end. CMB, I will say on FanDuel, I just kind of noticed that price. I don't know how good the minutes will be, and it's not a great matchup, but don't mind mixing him in on FanDuel where he's 4,800 for some reason.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Card say McBride is also out. Yeah, guys, I missed that initially when I answered Luke's question. With McBride out, I guess they could go Shemet. That would be pretty obnoxious. I do think we're going to see
They
Kolek though.
definitely could.
Yeah, man, Shemet has been a thorn in my side for years, but hopefully we don't have to deal with that here tonight. Again, guys, just keep your eye on the starting lineup. Next game here, one more at 7:30. We get the Magic taking on the Heat. Pretty low, or no, I'm surprised how high this total is, honestly. 231.5 point total. Magic underdogs on the road. No Franz Wagner. Banchero and the coach are beefing, but he has been playing a little bit better lately. As long as the minutes are there for him, you can make a case to get there. Bane, Black, fine. Carter, super inconsistent. The model always likes him. I'm kind of getting away from him today. Such a big slate. I don't think it's necessary. Smitty, any Magic players that you find yourself getting too aggressively?
Not really. I think Bane is probably my favorite of like the main guys, and then on FanDuel, Suggs looks like at his price, so don't mind either of them. Paolo, you could always play in tournaments. He has a ceiling. He's just not very consistent, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You could play Black. Personally, going to stay away from Wendell Carter though.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Over on the Miami side of things, maybe this is why the total's so high. They're missing a lot of key pieces here. Kasparis Jacunius, I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, projected to start because we have no Tyler Hero. Davion Mitchell is still doubtful. Jaime Jaquez, Pele Larson are available. Norm Powell was upgraded to probable. Khalil Ware questionable. Andrew Wiggins available. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know exactly what to expect here. Earlier in the day, Drew Smith was projecting to be one of the top value plays on the entire slate. I still don't mind getting there. Again, he has been outplaying KJ, so we don't have to pronounce that name again. Even if he's coming off the bench, I don't mind getting to him. He did start last time out, I believe. But yeah, other than that, it's tough. I don't mind Powell. Bam has been playing really well. Not a great matchup for him at the price, though. Wiggins probably a little bit underpriced, but inconsistent. Again, I think the guard situation is the most interesting. I do like Smith, but I would much rather play Kolek if we do get Brunson ruled out. How do you feel about the Miami Heat?
Yeah, pretty similar. I do think Jaime Jaquez is a okay GPP shot. Same with Norm, but like Bam's kind of tough with Ware in. I liked him if Ware was going to be out. I thought he was okay, but yeah, it's Jaime for me. Norm Powell's okay. Drew Smith, he's a pretty good value play if Brunson is in, but if Brunson's out, it's not even close. I would have a lot of Kolek and probably pretty minimal Drew Smith, but that's pretty much it. I think Larson, he's kind of priced up now. Wiggins is okay, I guess.
Yeah, again, they're getting a little bit healthier. Obviously, Hero's going to be out for a while. Luke, question here: can we stack three Knicks if Brunson and Hart are both out? I'd say yes for sure. Smitty, any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, if they're both out, you can.
Yeah, certainly. Next game here. Moving into the 8 o'clock window now. Just one game at 8 o'clock tonight. We get the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Hornets have been playing really well lately. Tonight, no KJ Simpson or Mason Plumlee. PJ Hall is back down with the G League. Nothing else really to talk about as far as they're concerned. But yeah, man, they've been playing good basketball. Ball probably going to come off the bench. He is the riskiest here. The minutes have just been all over the place for him. But I do like Miller. I do like Khan. I don't mind mixing in a little bit of Bridges. Diabate is back and healthy. He's fine as a center punt. I do think we have safer options in that range. But yeah, Miller probably the easiest to get to. Good game environment. Team playing really well right now. I did want to take a quick look. No, never mind. I was going to maybe mention Grant Williams as a vet here, but not on this slate. Too many games to choose from. Smitty, how do you feel about the Hornets?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I think this game's pretty good. They're also on the front end of a back to back, so Lamelo's kind of a tough situation. I do like Brandon Miller. They've shown to play him no matter what, and his price is pretty good on DraftKings. FanDuel, it's a little harder to stomach it, but on DraftKings, I think he's good. Diabate, I think, is playable. They've been running a weird center situation, so I don't really love either, but at his ownership, I think he's fine. Bridges is getting cheaper. The production is cheap too, so I think he's okay. But would prefer going to Khan if I'm going to that price range. But that's pretty much it. Khan looks pretty good, and then Brandon Miller.
Yeah, I agree. Miller definitely the most appealing play here from this team. Over on the Grizzlies side of things, no Brandon Clark, Jack Edey, Ty Jerome, John Morant, or Scottie Pippen. Probably going to see Cam Spencer starting again at the one. We got Cedric Coward at the two. Both look good with Ja out. The question is always the minutes for them, though. I don't mind mixing them in. At the same time, it's tough to feel confident knowing that neither probably get over 30. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been playing really well. He is always a foul trouble risk, though. So I don't know that I want to get to him here against Diabate. You can make a case for it. Aldama's back as well, which could cut into his upside. Other than that, the bench is pretty deep. I mean, we got Landell available. You can make a case for him. He's been productive even when he doesn't start. But I don't know that there's anything here I'm really rushing to get to, Smitty. How about you?
Yeah, same here. I don't mind Coward, but that minutes is just kind of brutal, especially on such a big slate. You could find lot more high upside options. So I think he's playable, and same with Jaren Jackson. Aldama, if he starts at center, I don't mind him at his ownership, especially on FanDuel, but no one that really jumps off the page.
Yep, right there with you, man. Moving into this 8:30 window now. We're making really good time today, guys. We got the Timberwolves taking on the Dallas Mavericks. 228.5 point total. Timberwolves are favored on the road here. Anthony Edwards is going to be available. No Terrence Shannon. Other than that, just a few G Leaguers listed. So, yeah, this is a healthy version of this Minnesota team. They did rest a bunch of their starters the other night. Gobert looks like one of the best center plays on the slate here. Bigs against Dallas has been a thing. He's been super productive in favorable matchups, and this definitely checks those boxes, in my opinion, at his price. I mean, Allen is a little bit more appealing, obviously, with no Mobley, but I do think Gobert is right there behind him as one of the best center plays on the slate. Obviously, you could get to Ant and feel good about it. I mean, Nas Reed's been really productive off the bench as like a last piece in, but again, Gobert really the guy for me here as far as Timberwolves go. Just really like the matchup for him against Dallas. Smitty, how do you feel about Minnesota here on the road?
Yeah, I think it is a pretty good spot. I do like Gobert as well. I think he's a good center play. After that, it's kind of tough. I think Ant looks pretty good on FanDuel, but then again, his price is kind of up there, so you need a lot. DraftKings is kind of hard because he's a guard, so kind of just throw him in the bucket with all the other good guard plays. But yeah, it's mainly Gobert. Don't mind Randall, but it's pretty much them. And then Nas Reed, I will mention, at least has a ceiling, so I don't mind mixing in a little bit of Nas.
Yep. Sounds like we're pretty aligned there. Over on the Mavericks side of things, yeah, Coach Kidd's taking a page out of Spo's book and listing the whole team on the injury report now. We got Sisse doubtful, and Exum are both out. Flag is questionable. I do think he plays. No Kyrie Irving. Miles Kelly is questionable. Derek Lively is out. Nemhard is probable. Clay Thompson is going to be questionable here. I think most of these guys that are questionable are going to play. I think regardless, we can get to some Max Christie. He's been shooting lights out lately. Um, you're riding a hot hand, so there is some risk there. He is scoring dependent, but at his price, he's very useful, especially on FanDuel, where you can play him at shooting guard or small forward. PJ Washington expected to come off the bench. They're starting Flag at point again, but he's not really playing like a true point. I know he struggled earlier in the season. If he's in there, I would rather him be next to Nemhard or Williams. I will say that. If that's the case, I'm getting to some Flag. If he's the starting point guard, don't feel great about him at his price. And I'm a huge fan of his, but just keep an eye on that. Brandon Williams off the bench or starting on DK at 4,900. Very, very appealing, especially if we get Brunson in and you're struggling to find value at point guard. You're going to have to find a little bit of salary, but I do think Williams is one of the better options. And then Caleb Martin's been getting spot starts lately, like playing only 23 to 26 minutes. He's cheap. No one's playing him. He's like a last piece in if you're really trying to lean into stars and scrubs. I don't think it's crazy, but Outside of Williams on DK and Christie on both sides, who's definitely more of a tournament play, I don't know that there's anything from Dallas I love here, Smitty. How about you?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I think Brandon Williams is okay, and then Max Christie's GPP play as well. If we do get Clay out, that could make Christie a little better. Same with Brandon Williams. So I'll like them a little bit more, but as of right now, I think they're just okay options as like last pieces in.
Yep. Yeah, again, keep an eye on that situation, guys. Everyone's on the injury report today. I think most of them are going to be in, but obviously worth keeping an eye on. Next game here at 9 o'clock, we have the Golden State Warriors taking on the Utah Jazz. Warriors, no Jimmy Butler, no Seth Curry. Steph and Draymond are both probable. No Jonathan Kuminga. Gary Payton is going to be probable here as well. So a lot of ownership concentrated to these Warriors right now. Al Horford projected to get the start here at center. If he does, I do like him a lot. More so on DK because he has forward eligibility. You could play him on FanDuel at center, but only 22 minutes. I don't think you need to do it, especially if he's popular. Steph getting a lot of love here. Obviously, increased usage with no Jimmy. Draymond looks fine at his price. Very inconsistent, but don't mind him as like a last piece in. The guy I really like is actually Melton off the bench. He's been super productive in his minutes. He's not going to start, which should keep his ownership down. It's probably going to be Moody, but I do like him here. And yeah, I think Horford is a core play for me on DK, probably not on FanDuel. I do like Steph. I think he's maybe a little bit overowned, but in general, this is a great spot, obviously. Spread not as wide as maybe you'd expect. Really high total against this Jazz team that does not like to play much defense. But how do you feel about the Warriors?
Yeah, great spot. We like targeting the Jazz. Don't mind Steph. I think Steph looks like a pretty good option on both sites. Al Horford, specifically on DraftKings. FanDuel, I think he's kind of whatever, but DraftKings, I think he looks like a pretty good option at power forward. And then, like you said, Melton. I think Melton's a good play. Moody and Pods both look fine. And then Draymond kind of getting away on DraftKings at the 22%, but don't mind taking a few shots. Just I don't feel like he's got the upside to really kill me. So don't mind getting away there. And then just like the model prefers going to the cheaper Horford.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And yeah, Draymond, like if you're playing cash games, you want to lock in 27 fantasy points. He's your guy. But it's so rare we see that ceiling even in good matchups. So probably not someone I'm really going to be prioritizing, especially with Horford now in there next to him most of the time. Over on the Jazz side of things, no Walker Kessler, no Kevin Love. Nurk is questionable. Obviously, that's significant, as is Cody Williams. Less significant, but he is projected to start. If Nurk's out, I think we're going to see Filipowski get the nod at the five again. He wouldn't be a bad play there. Keontae George is back, though. He rested yesterday, right? Or the last time the Jazz played. He
Yeah.
is easily my favorite play here. Nobody seems to want to play him. If this game is going to be as competitive as Vegas is telling us it is, he's worth getting to at his price. I like him a lot. I'd rather get to Mitchell. I'd rather get to Steph. But at the same time, I think he's in the conversation as one of the better guard plays on the slate if you're paying up. If Nurk starts, he's fine. But assuming he doesn't, again, keep an eye on the lineup. I think we could see Filipowski slide in here, and he'd look pretty good at his price. No Kevin Love either, going to secure those minutes. Smitty, how do you feel about the Jazz?
Yeah, it could be a mess. It's hard. It's hard to project the Jazz really. Like Laurie played yesterday, and he's not on the injury report, which is kind of weird to me. So we could see some stuff, and I also think Cody Williams got ruled out just a few minutes ago, so he's out of there. So it kind of opens more room for some of their wings that they want to play. Like Ace Bailey's minutes should be pretty good, but he's kind of priced correctly, so it don't really mean much. Um, but yeah, I think Nurk, as long as he's starting, looks like a pretty good option. And then Keontae, I actually really like. A lot of people are playing Golden State. No one's really playing any Utah. So I like getting to some Keontae. Laurie, I guess, if he plays, but I don't really love it on the back end of a back to back. I'd prefer just playing Keontae and Nurk.
Yeah, Laurie not on the injury report. Seventh, he played 43 minutes against OKC and then 39 against Dallas. So I'm pretty confident he's going to play. At the same time, again, I don't love him at the price. Tougher matchup for him, in my opinion, than it is for Keontae. So you can mix him in there. But at the same time, George is the guy that we're keying in on. One more game here, guys. Again, really impressed with Smitty and myself in terms of pacing today. If you have any questions, get them in. We'll definitely get to all chat. We'll also have time to go through and do a dummy build on both sites. But before we do that, we got the Spurs taking on the Rockets, 220.5 point total. Rockets are slight favorites here at home. Spurs, Sochan is on the trade block. He is questionable. He hasn't even been in the rotation, though, so that's really not significant. Starting with them, Wemby's minutes have been creeping up here. Not a great matchup. Obviously, the ceiling is excellent for him, though. He's actually struggled in this matchup for the most part. I think that's notable, but no one's playing him. Just from a game theory angle, when you can get a player like that and his ceiling, you can mix him in. Other than that, there's really nothing I'm rushing to. I do think Castle's underpriced on DK at 6,800. Fox has been playing really well. Those are the two I'm fine getting to. Other than that, it's tough. Again, this team is getting healthier right now. Harper's minutes have been cut in a big way with Vassell returning. Champagne's been up and down. His price is up in a big way, though, so it's tough to feel good about him. And again, the Rockets, one of the best defenses in the NBA. Nothing I love here, Smitty, as far as Spurs go. How about you?
Yeah, same. Not too excited about anybody. I do think Wemby is a pretty good GPP play, especially on DraftKings. Price just feels a little bit too low, but everyone's paying up at guard, so it'll automatically make you different if you play Wemby. So you are going to be sacrificing like a good center play. So there is downside to it, but I do think Wemby's a pretty good tournament play. Other than that, no one really stands out. I think Castle's okay if you get there, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and not to kind of like come at you or anything, but again, I just want to emphasize that Wemby's really struggled in this matchup. I still think there's merit to playing him because he is so low owned. But I think the last 6 times these teams played, he only got over 50 fantasy points once. Obviously, you're going to want that or more at his price point. But again, whenever you get a player that low owned, he's rounded into form, man. He can still get to that ceiling. I don't mind it. Over on the Houston side of things, Steven Adams is out. Obviously, no Fred Van Fleet. Other than that, this team's pretty healthy. Eason has slid into the starting lineup now over Okogie, I think, next to Smith. So we're going to see Thompson, Eason, Durant, Smith, Sengun. This is a huge lineup in terms of size. Absolutely ridiculous. I like Eason. I think at his price, he's probably the easiest to get to. Durant's been playing well. You can make a case for him. Shepard should see increased usage off the bench now that Eason's starting, but his minutes and usage have been all over the place. Other than Eason, I don't know that there's anything I'm prioritizing. Saigun's done pretty decent in this matchup. Don't mind mixing him in, but I'd rather play Cat if Brunson's out. There's a lot of good mid-range centers we like tonight. Not a lot of Houston love for me outside of Eason. Smitty, how about you?
Yeah, I like Eason quite a bit as well. And I do like KD at his price. I think he looks like a good option, especially at his ownership. Sengun's kind of in the tougher matchup. Could see them lean like on KD a little bit more. So I do like KD. Reed Shepard is at least worth a mention if we do get Brunson in. Then he becomes more in play. But if Brunson's out, he's more of just like a GPP play. But I don't mind mixing him in at 10% if we get Brunson in there.
Yep, right there with you, man. All right, I got a lot of chat to catch up on here, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we will get into the dummy builds. Again, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue to get this free content out to you on a regular basis. Hot Billy here, coming in hot. Spinny looks like you got it in this afternoon. Respect. Put me in the game, Coach Chris. Nobody playing Luka versus the Cavs. I will. I'm with you, man. It's just a matter of do we get enough value to get there. I think people have a sour taste in their mouth because Luka hasn't been getting there frequently. But if you look over the past week, it does seem like he's rounding back into form. Unicorn, appreciate you being here. Again, comment on your Zoom background. Somebody got the sick pad, penthouse somewhere. Kongwu, Gobert, or Allen? Who's the better roster? I think I get your question. I think Allen's the safest, Jose. I would have Gobert to a Kongwu 3. How did you rank those three, Smitty? I think we like
Yeah,
all of them.
yeah, I like all of them. Kind of tough. I guess if salary don't matter, Okongwu, but probably Allen is my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're not worried, if you are worried about the Allen ownership, I do think Gobert's a pretty good pivot. Again, Dallas not great against bigs with Anthony Davis out. Shouts out our man Jayhawk in here, building for Brunson out again. Yeah, we really need to hope that's a good thing. Did I hear you right? Horford's a core play. Let me add some asterisks, caveat, footnotes to this. Only on DK, only if he starts at center. He's a core play on DK at power forward for me, Jose. So again, I think you could get 25 to 30 fantasy points for 4,300. That's pretty good. But again, don't force it, Jose. Not necessarily. Missed the whole show. Who you got to see, Nick? Yeah, we got to see Brunson. That's the big one, right? I think that is the biggest news. A lot of lineups being shaken up right now too. So again, keep an eye on starting lineups. Again, Easton slide into the starting lineup. We've seen Miami trying a few weird things lately. Dallas has a lot of moving parts right now. So again, we obviously prioritize the injury news, but the lineups changing could definitely shake some things up here as well. Again, making great time today. Shouts out to Jayhawk again. He's going to be live in the Discord in 8 minutes. Before we turn it over to him, though, Smitty, let's go ahead and start on these dummy builds. So, first question is: do we just assume Brunson's out and go with Kolek, or
Yeah, it'd be easier.
yeah, if he's in, again, I think Drew Smith is your pivot. You're gonna have to find 900, but we'll talk about some pivots as we go through this. Who else are we prioritizing? I love Tyson at his price on FanDuel. Don't mind it on DK, but I do think Allen is probably like the safest center play here with no Mobley.
Yeah.
All right, throw some more names at me. Who do you really like tonight?
I mean, I really like Donovan Mitchell, but
I'm with you. Let's go
okay.
Mitchell. Put him at shooting guard.
And then if we want to play Horford at power forward,
Yeah, again, make sure he starts, but I'll pull up his game log real quick here. With no Jimmy, they're kind of using him as a wing a little bit more. The minutes are up for him. And again, I just think he could get there pretty easily. 26 ish fantasy points at his price, pretty good play. It's probably not going to make or break you. If we get better value, feel free to pivot. If you're not paying up at multiple positions, you don't have to play him. I like him there. Small forward, again, I like Tyson. He's a little overpriced here. Is there anyone else? I mean, Eason, 6K, pretty good play.
yeah. Brandon Miller, kind of like all those.
Yeah, I do like Miller. I guess it's going to come down to what we do everywhere else. Let's leave that one for now. Um, Guard forward utility. Is there anyone you're really trying to get in?
Um, there's kind of a there's just so many good plays. It's kind of hard.
Right.
At guard, I'm trying to see. Depends if we want to save. We could go with like Melton, or if we want to pay up. I do like Steph.
Let's
Uh,
go with Steph.
yeah,
I think we can afford him. I do like that. Yeah, that might take us off of Miller. I think we could still get there. I don't know how cheap we want to go. Forward, is there anyone kind of cheap? I do like Walker if he starts for Indiana. I know someone brought that name up. Um,
yeah. Walker, Eason. Um,
Dean Wade, dare I say it?
yeah, Dean Wade, Tomlin. I guess they're all kind of right there.
Yeah, let me take a quick look at Wade here. I mean, he's kind of similar to the Horford play, right? Like, I don't feel great about it. The minutes are there. He's too cheap. Um, I don't know. Let's go with Wade and just see what we could pay up for. Now we can get to Miller at small forward. He's been amazing, really carrying this team. And no longer are the Hornets tanking, which is great as a Nets fan. Looking at utility, we got 6,100. I'd love to get Gobert with Allen. I don't think we can, though. That's fine. We got Nas. We got Eason. I think Eason's okay in the late game. Any thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
No, I
Eason?
think that's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, something like this, guys. Again, still waiting on some news. Obviously, if Brunson's in, you're going to have to come off Kolek. You can just downgrade Eason or Curry, upgrade that to Drew Smith, or maybe a Brandon Williams from Dallas. He's another cheap guard we like. Let's jump over to FanDuel, though. All right. Luke is even more expensive here. I think he's easier to get to on DK. Don't know that we have to. Are we? I want to start with Tyson. I think
Yeah,
he's kind of a no-brainer here.
yeah. I like
Um,
Tyson.
yeah. Throw some more names at me. Do we jam Kolek again?
Yeah, yeah. Kolek for me, and then Jared Allen. You could play him at power forward.
Yeah, that's very useful.
Um, could
Um,
go.
I,
I like Donovan Mitchell here too, but either way.
yeah, I do
Oh yeah,
like
you already have him.
Mitchell. He has shooting guard. I mean, Curry's just as appealing, if not more appealing, over here.
Yeah,
I mean, Curry Mitchell are kind of like our pay ups. Again, I do like Luca, but if I'm playing one lineup, it's easier to get to these guys. Small forward.
let's see.
I feel like there's some under cheap or underpriced. I mean, I do like Christie a lot more than I should. I don't know that we need to put him in here. Um, Dean Wade again.
Yeah, Wade, Eason, but he's not like super cheap.
Taking a look at Tomlin here real quick. I would much rather play Wade. And Tomlin's chalk. Like, I don't really get that.
Yeah, yeah, I like Hart if Brunson's out and Hart's in, but we don't really know, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah, it could be OG if
OG's
it's
fine, or Bridges.
Yeah, I mean, Easton at his price is good. We can go ahead and throw him in. Let's jump to center and see how everything else shakes out. I mean, I probably want to get Towns at power forward if we can,
Yeah,
if we're assuming Brunson's out. We didn't do that on DK, but I do think that's probably a good move. Then we got to go cheap. I think we're stuck with Dean Wade, man. I'm sorry. If you want to go to Tomlin, feel free. But that allows us to get a 6,200 center, and that's going to bring us to you. This is gross. I want to get Gobert. So if we go Gobert, we got to downgrade somewhere. As
can
much as I
we?
like Eason
Yeah,
at small forward there. Ugh, God damn.
that's pretty
Don't mind the
bad.
language, guys. I mean, we could go Christie to save 100 or 2. If we get off a Curry, we got 9K there. I mean, oh Brunson, we don't think he's in. That doesn't work, man. Uh, kind of stuck. I mean, is it Tomlin over Wade? I guess this is probably the
That's
build.
probably why. Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably why he's so popular. I do really like this build. I do really like getting away from Naquan Tomlin if you can. But again, a lot of pieces out for the Cavs here today. Cito really likes Jarcy. We're with you, man. If Hart ends up out, Robinson out, is Huck Porty in play? I don't think so. I don't know that the Knicks need to play big when Towns is off the floor. Would you have any interest in Huck Porty? He's just done nothing.
no. If anything, if we get Hart and Brunson out, maybe Gearshot and Yabusele, but I don't really want to play Huck Porty.
Yeah, honestly, Shamet's going to get more of those minutes. Clarkson's going to get more of those minutes, even though they play a different position. Jalen Smith being so high in the model but low in ownership. I love Jalen Smith here, Gabber. Smitty, are you on Jalen Smith here tonight?
Yeah, as long as he starts, I like him.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to continue to start. It feels like Vooch might not be a part of the future plans for Chicago, in which case Smith could continue to develop into their starting center. But they're starting him at the 4. I like him a lot. As long as he's starting, we like him there. But again, guys, jump into the Discord. Jayhawk about to go live. Still waiting on that news for the Knicks. Kolek is not starting. Proceed with caution. If Brunson is in, just probably get away from that spot. Um, Maybe we get Craig Porter started for Cleveland as a pivot. We have Drew Smith in Miami as a pivot. We have Brandon Williams in Dallas as a pivot. So plenty of different ways to go. Any other thoughts, Smitty, before we get out of here?
Nope. Good luck.
Good luck, guys. Take care, and let's crush it tonight. Appreciate you.